a twinkle, she's got that flair. Chanel number 19 just fills the air. She takes a microphone and hits the street, revealing stars with a positive beat. From set to sofa is where it's at, and Lulu, darling, just loves a chat. She talks to stars with grace and style. Lulu sure will make you smile.
Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to From Set to Sofa with Lulu, a podcast about classic movies and television, where no one needs to worry about bad lighting. I'm Lulu, your ever-curious hostess, and today we're taking a delicious little trip back in time to the dazzling world of the 70s and 80s. Oh, my lovelies, it was an era of big hair, big drama, and even bigger shoulder pads. But trust me, life behind the scenes was even juicier than the scripts. Now let's talk about today's guest, because I'm simply beside myself with excitement. I had the absolute pleasure of seeing her perform twice on stage. And let me tell you, she knocked me out with her stage presence. She became a household name in a television soap in the 70s and 80s. Had many guest roles in television shows, movies. Oh, yeah. And that voice, instantly recognizable from decades of voiceover work. She's travelled the world, and I tell you, she's still got it. So without any further ado, let's get the legendary Diana McLean on the line. Hello, Diana. Now, I'll call you Di because 30 years is a hard habit to break.
Hi, Lou.
How are you today?
I'm all right, actually, I think.
Good.
My son sent me a very funny cartoon yesterday with this sort of snowman sitting down. It was like an iceman, and it said, when somebody tells you to put ice where it hurts, and he was completely covered in it. So that's a bit how I'm getting.
I relate to that.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I didn't go for my swim, though. I told you I was going to go. It was a miserable day. And
well, I wondered about that. Yes.
Yeah, well, I went to the theatre last night and I decided, I'm not a great fan of public transport, but I decided because it was at the town hall, I'd better do something. So I parked in Surrey Hills and got the tram, which was fabulous. Good. Then when I came back, they'd cancelled the trams.
Oh, no.
So my prejudices were totally confirmed. Thank God my friends hadn't quite left their parking station and they picked me up and drove me back to Surrey Hills. I'd never have got a cab because there's a train strike as well, but I couldn't believe it, my one foray in public transport, and they cancelled. And it was pouring with rain, of course, so that was good. Anyway, yeah. I digress.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to digress a lot, I hope, today. Now, let's wind back the clock, though, to the beginning. And I know that you studied art, which was probably your first love. Now, or was it?
Was. Yeah, absolutely. All the way through school, I excelled in it. And I was supposed to go to the National Art School, but I lost my mother when I was 13. She died of cancer. She was sick most of my life, and I sort of ended up with a stepmother from hell, and I didn't go to art school. She put me into hairdressing, which lasted precisely 12 months, and then I ran away. So I went to art school on my own down in Melbourne. I went down to Melbourne on my own and started going to the National Gallery School there. And to pay for my fees, I just come out of private school. I took up nude modelling of a night time for the art school.
Now, that's a dead body I didn't know about, Di.
It was quite a change from a very conservative upbringing. But there you go.
Sure was.
Yeah.
Sure was. Now, after that, I believe you left for the UK and France for about 16
No,
years.
I didn't go there
No?
until the 70s. No, I
Oh.
got married very young the first time, 18,
Yeah.
and I had my daughter Cassandra when I was 19, and I'm afraid that marriage didn't last terribly long either. So I got married 3 times for my sins. I think that's enough. So I didn't go to the UK until the 70s, actually, after I'd done a big series called Ben Hall for the ABC, and I went overseas after that, yeah.
Ah, I see.
So by then I was an actor. But I was in voiceovers before I was an actor. They started me in voiceovers. A friend of mine in Melbourne, who was a studio engineer, he decided to put me in front of a microphone and taught me how to do it. So I was doing voiceovers from the early 60s, yeah.
Wow.
About 62, yeah.
Yeah, I got it a bit back the front there.
63, yeah.
Oh. So, now how did you get the part of Helen Maguire in Ben Hall?
Well, I had a fabulous agent. I had June Cann when I came up to Sydney. She was the best, you know, Jack Thompson, all of those. So June got me the job. That's how I got to Ben Hall. June and her daughter Alexandra was working in the agency as well, who I just heard, she was married to the playwright Keith Dewhurst, Alexandra, and he just died on Saturday, but he was quite old, but I was very fond of him. I'm still in touch with Alex. June's long dead, of course. But June was the top agent, and she and Liz Kirby. Liz Kirby, who was in number 96 as well, but she was an agent. Then June, she's still alive, Liz. She must be 102 by now.
She was went into politics after that.
She did, indeed. And then she did a university course in the 90s as well, yeah. She's an amazing woman.
Incredible.
She's Tony Llewellyn-Jones's mother, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Didn't realise that.
And her husband, they were divorced a long time ago, but her husband was a top gynecologist. And he was my gynecologist, and he loved doing Peter Sellers impressions while he was examining you. I'll leave you imagination.
I can imagine.
He was very naughty, Tony
It'd
Llewellyn.
take away all the angst, wouldn't it?
Well, but also he was lovely. He died quite young, I think. But they just split up. But he was everybody's gynecologist. Everybody went to Llewellyn-Jones, but he wrote books and all sorts of things. But he was very funny. Great sense of humour. Yeah.
Now, listen, Di, did you have fire in your belly, ambition, being an actor?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I wanted to do. And I studied it. You know, there was no NIDA when I started out. So I used to study as much as I could with small classes. And then I started studying the method acting and stellar ad. I did this. Stellar ad actually came out to Australia in the 70s, I think it was. And, of course, Brian Siren, who was a friend of mine who was also a teacher, had worked for her in America, and she did a big seminar for a couple of weeks, which a lot of us went to. Not Paula Duncan.
Carmen Duncan.
Carmen, thank you, darling. Carmen and Pamela Stevenson was an actor then. She was there.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
married to Billy Connolly, wasn't she?
She is now. Well, not then. She hadn't even
Not
got
then.
No, it was a long time ago. Yeah, you know, it was a wonderful thing. We were all there, you know, hanging on her every word, and she helped a lot with the way I approached things. And I just did a lot of study on my own all the time, research and stuff as much as I could. But you know, in those days, you worked.
Yeah,
it was easy to get a job. You just got into television. I mean, I was desperate to do theatre, but I didn't do theatre for a very long time, only in the beginning, because I had a pretty face and there was always a television job, you know.
Well, it was more like a village too back then, wasn't it, in the 70s and 80s?
Yeah, it wasn't hard to get work. There weren't that many people after it, you know.
No.
And we knew all the time, all the top cinematographers and things who ended up going to Hollywood and directing and everything. We were working with all of them, So because that they were just Aussie boys doing commercials or doing the various shows that we were doing, Yeah.
Now
Johnny Seal, who won all sorts of Oscars. I worked with Johnny a lot of times, various directors. And that was the time, Peter Weir. I worked with all of them when I was in my 20s, but we didn't know. They weren't famous then. No, they were just here.
Learning the craft.
They were.
Yeah.
They were.
All of us were.
On Ben Hall, Johnny Seal learned how to do day for night from a director that came out. Oh, God, what's his name? He was famous. But he came out and taught them how to shoot day for night. Day for night means that, you shoot in the daytime, looks like night.
Yeah.
If the audience who is listening to this. But the Australian cinematographers didn't really know how to do it. And he just came out and taught them how to do it.
Fantastic. Now, you had you played Dorothy Dunlop in number 96. And I remember you saying to me, I'm glad that she was a clairvoyant because she had this big floaty thing and never had to take her clothes off.
That's right. Yeah, you all had to sign a thing that you would take them off.
I remember it well.
But yes, you do. But the thing was, in that particular time, it was, we were sunbathing topless on the beach. I got sent back from an interview from an American director because I arrived in a see-through blouse with no bra on. And he said, go home. I would let my daughter come like that. So
wow.
It was just that period,
Yeah, I know.
We didn't think about it. We didn't think we were being naughty. We just it was like the kids today all showing their bottom on the beach. Everywhere you look on the beach now, it's bare bottoms.
Oh, I know.
But before that,
Up
we
the
were
crack.
topless. Yeah, exactly. All you can see is bare bottoms because they're just wearing those little things. Yeah.
What are they called? Thongs, or something.
Thong bathers. But they're not taking their tops off. We took our tops off and not the bottoms. But, when I was a teenager, you weren't allowed to show your navel.
No.
That was why that American TV show of the Jeannie, I Dream of Jeannie, was such a scandal in the beginning because she wore an outfit that showed her navel. It was.
Yep.
So we had 2-piece bathing costumes in the late 50s. We used to stuff the bras full of things to make it look as if we had big boobs, and it came up over our navel. They were like shorts. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I remember them so well. Yeah. Now, when did you go to the UK and France? Because I believe tu parles couramment français. How did you learn French?
I learned French at school, but it wasn't very good. The second time I went to live in France. I didn't live. The first time I was just in London for 3 years. I was married to a man called Peter McLean then, that's how I used the name Diana McLean, who was a horrible man. We won't talk about him.
Nope.
But I went in the end of the 70s. No. Where did I go? I went after Ben Hall finished, but I was back because I went into Young Doctors.
That's right.
In 1977, I think, 78.
Yeah.
So I was there 3 years and came back to 78 whenever I came back. And then some years on, I met Michael Petrovich, who's my last husband, who's also dead. And I married him in about 1982, I think. By then I'd done that big series for the ABC called Winner Takes All on Falk and Tina Bursell and Bryony Bahets.
Yeah, she was lovely.
And we took her. Yeah, she's a lovely girl. She's here again now. She just did a bit in the New Neighbours thing.
Good.
So I then took off to England with Michael, and we were there some years before we went to live in France. Yeah, we went to live in southwest of France. And I ended up staying there. My marriage fell apart because Michael was in a bottle to anything else. I was there nearly 6 years, 5.5 years. Yeah, yes. My French is pretty rusty now because I don't use it. But when I left, I was thinking and dreaming in French. But my verbs are appalling, absolutely. My tenses and everything. So, but I got by.
Oh, Di, I have such great respect for you being able to speak couramment français, fluent French.
Well, you don't have any choice. You know,
Yeah,
I
of
lived in the
course,
southwest of France and nobody spoke English.
Yeah.
So I made some wonderful mistakes. And when I was first there with Michael, he went everywhere. He had this sort of saddlebag he always wore over his, I don't know why, he carried his stuff in it. And I went to get my hair done and I asked her to cut and blow dry my horses. Cheval. So she got very confused.
Cheval instead of cheval.
Cheval. And she looked out and there was Michael with a saddlebag on her shoulder. She got very confused.
Oh, that's funny.
And then I would come home from the butcher's with the most extraordinary stuff because I just had to point. In the end, I had no idea. But get by. And in the end, it's just part of daily living. You know, you make terrible mistakes. Call candles bougie, which is bougie. Bougie is jewel. I'm losing it now. You see, bougie is candle. Bougie is jewelry, and I was getting those words mixed up too. It's
well, particularly when you don't see them written, and you were learning by hearing,
by ear.
Yeah. You're doing almost what they're doing now, which is immersion French.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's the best way to learn. But you do, as you say, you're learning by ear.
Yeah.
So Sometimes I don't recognise words that are written down as something I'd been saying. That was because it's pronounced a different way. Yeah.
And go for it. But when you got the part of Vivian Jeffries in The Young Doctors in '78, what was it like? It was being a household name a bit of a burden. I mean, how did your neighbours treat you? Oh,
initially it was I couldn't go anywhere because if you've got somebody, you probably went through it too. If you actually got eye contact, they started talking to you. But you would find yourself standing in a store like Myers or David Jones, and people would just be standing around staring at you. So that was a bit confronting at first because I'd never had that before. Even with Number 96, I mean the first thing they did with Number 96 with me was we went to South Australia, and there were all these thousands of people cheering and carrying on, you know.
Yeah.
And they drove us around in a double-decker bus, and they were lining the streets and holding up their babies. And I had no idea this sort of thing went on. It was quite a surprise to me. I took to the very good South Australian wine to counteract it. But
very good. The only thing that you could do.
With Young Doctors, it wasn't very long after I joined it that they took us all up to Brisbane. Were you on that trip?
No.
And put us on the back of a truck, and we waved at everyone in our costumes. And it was huge. It was huge. You know, people lining the streets once again. Big concert where Timmy Page sang and did all that, and a few other people got up. But I mean, it was just thousands of people.
Goodness.
Yeah, it had a lot. It was extraordinary. You didn't make eye contact with people anymore.
Yeah, but how did that make you feel? I mean, was it good or, or was it intimidating?
No. It was only intimidating if you found yourself in the midst of them all. I'm a great one for look, I know the business and I knew the business and I wasn't, I did find when I was in Neighbours that a lot of the younger ones there who have never been heard of again had a very big sense of their importance. You're not important, it's a greasy pole, you need to be really nice to your technical crew because they work really hard and they can they can make you look awful or not.
Yes.
But the thing is, you're not a star. If you are a star, it's not for very long. Not here.
No,
you might be in America if you're a massive star, and that goes on for years. But here it doesn't. It comes and goes, and people shouldn't take themselves too seriously. And by then, I was in my 40s.
In your what?
In my 40s. I would think I was in my 40s when I was doing Young Doctors, or close to it. And I just didn't take it that seriously.
You were just glad to be a working actor.
I was glad to be working, yeah. It was good. Yeah, getting some money and fighting for increases in salary. We were not very well paid in Young Doctors, as everybody knows, but there you are.
No. Now, were there any scandals or did anything ever happen to you that you didn't like or felt endangered?
No, I was never endangered. I nearly drowned once, but that was floating around in Whale Beach and got carried out in a rip, but that had nothing to do with it. No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think I had any scandals. No, I had a lot of unhappiness at times, but not scandals.
Now, you've done a lot of voiceovers over the decades, and you're still working in this area, aren't you?
I am, yes, not as much as I used to. Last year was shocking. First time in my life I didn't have any voiceover work for months and months and months. But it was a bad year for everyone, I think. But I'm obviously not getting as much as I used to because I'm older. But I'm lucky to be working at all, I guess. But I've got a certain sort of voice, and I know what I'm doing, and I know what they want, so it's easy.
Well, I've worked with you, and I've been in awe of you. You know, you just pick it up and you just go for it. You know, it's great. It's great.
Well, you have to be able to. You know, I've also people used to say I had a clock on my head, which I probably have. Yeah. I can always take a second off or put a couple of seconds off and seconds on. You've got to be able to work out how long it's taking and give them what they want. What they're asking you in voiceovers, it's not always what they really want. And you may live, as you probably know, in horror when you walk into a studio and there's a whole lot of people in there because everybody's going to have a different opinion.
Absolutely. Particularly when those advertising people are there.
Well, they're all advertising.
Well, yeah, but you know, you've got the whole office, you know, and it's you've got no one will take responsibility for saying it's okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I used to work with John Laws in the old days.
Oh, yeah.
And he would give them 3 or 4 readings, and after that, he'd walk out of the studio. I mean, he was such a big name, but he just said, "No, that's it. You've got it." And you just know when they've got it. They often come back in first or second take, but they're just terrified to make a decision. But you know, I've been doing it for so long. I know when it's all right.
Oh, I know. No, it's fantastic. You know, I mean, it's just great having that skill, particularly, you know, when you're working.
I'm very lucky I had it. It's kept me in funds for many, many years. You know, when you're out of work as an actor, which is most of the time, the voiceovers are a wonderful thing to have.
Sure are. Now, Di, we're going to listen to a little bit of your wonderful, glorious Florence Foster Jenkins, your Australian tour.
Yes.
No, we are. Just a couple of, about 10 seconds. I promise it's not going to be long. Okay?
Oh, funny.
You know, when I was 16, my father said that if I didn't give up music, he'd cut me off. Of course, what he didn't understand was that music is my life. People may say that I can sing, but no one will ever say that I didn't sing.
Now I'm sorry, we needed to play that, darling. I mean, it was fantastic. And I remember seeing you on stage.
She was fabulous.
Yeah, I know.
Me, Florence could not hear. She was like somebody who was anorexic. She couldn't hear not the fault. She thought she was wonderful.
Isn't it sad? It's so sad. I mean, it must have been torture to sing off key like that.
Well, no, it wasn't, darling, because I'm not an opera singer. Somebody asked me that once, and they said, was it difficult singing that in an opera? And I said, well, no, not if you're not an opera singer. It wasn't difficult singing badly, because that's how I would sing it. I mean, I can sing, but I'm not an opera singer, so obviously I'm going to make a mess of it. So
yeah, but you're a good singer anyway, you know. So and I know that you, our darling Tim Page, helped you with that a bit, didn't he?
Jimmy did, yes. Yeah. Tim and Alan when Alan was alive, and then I had another teacher in Melbourne. I've forgotten his name, and he's terrific. He's very well known down there. I did a couple of things with him, and the boys that were playing Cosimo, my companies, they helped me a lot with exercises and stuff.
Wow.
So, you know, yeah.
Yeah, good on you. Now,
but it was fun. But Tim said to me a couple of times, I think I told you the other day, at one stage Tim said to me, you're getting too good, you've got to flatten it down a bit, because I'm starting to hit the note properly instead of sliding off the side of it, yeah.
Now, was it before or no? It was before you did Florence, because I remember seeing you doing it, and it was wonderful. I loved it.
What?
When you glorious when you did it, I think it was at the Belvoir, wasn't it?
No, darling, no, we didn't do
any
of the main stage in Sydney, unfortunately.
But I remember maybe it was a preview or something like that. But I did see you, and there was Tim and Judy, gorgeous Judy,
up in Gosford.
Oh, is that
I
what
did
it
it
was?
Up in Gosford.
That's what it was. Okay, but I saw
we toured it all over Victoria and New South Wales, but we didn't actually apart from Brisbane, we didn't do main stage, which was a shame. Because we were offered the rights to it by the writer of it, because he'd heard that, you know, we had such good reviews. But I couldn't get anyone to pick it up, which was a shame. And so it needed someone to produce it and do it. But we could have done all the main stages with it because people loved it. It's fun.
I know, it was terrific. But prior to that, you also did 4,000 Miles in 2016. And you were nominated for Best Leading Actress in a Leading Role.
That's right.
Good on you. And I saw that too. Maybe that was at the Belvoir.
No,
where was that?
I've never played the Belvoir. No, it wasn't on some. I don't know where we did that.
But I remember going.
We started off down at the Wharf. And then where did we take it? We
was in Sydney anyway.
We took it on the road because in Melbourne and all over the place, Bathurst, we were picked up by a big touring company and we took it all over the place. It was great fun.
I know.
But I loved that part. And now it's coming on at the Sydney Theatre Company with Nancy Hayes.
Oh, wonderful.
Which will be interesting to see, yeah.
Wonderful. What a shame you didn't get the role, Di.
Well, they didn't even consider me, you know. But Nancy's such a big star.
Yeah.
That'll get the bums on seats. That's what they like.
Of course it is.
So, but it would have been nice to be considered, considering I'd been nominated for it. But there you go. That's the business.
But well done, you. Best Leading Actress. Wow. Great. Now, when you approach a new role, how do you do the process of transforming into a character?
God.
I know, it's a big one, isn't it?
Well, you don't really transform, as you know. You just do your research on the period and the character. You've got to work out where you are first and what period it is and what these people were like during that time and what's going on. You need to know what's going on around you at that time as the character, you know, what's going on outside that particular life. I approach all my work like that. I've always, when I did a bit of teaching at one stage, I always said you have to have an inner story going. It's not what the lines you're saying. If you think about your day-to-day thing when you're talking to people, you're not necessarily not thinking of other things. And you have to think about what's happening in your life at that time. If you're talking on one level to somebody, but there could be something awful going on in your life underneath. And as an actor, if you're playing a part, you need to have those other lives, those other stories going on.
We used to call it subtext.
Well, it is a subtext, but you've got to have your own subtext.
Yeah,
You've got to decide what's happened to this character, where they are, where they've been before they walked in the door. All that needs to come in. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Otherwise, you're a stiff board, really.
Well, it's not that much. Not so much. It's not real.
Yeah, not real.
The audience knows when it's not real with theatre. They know on screen too. That's why with film you have to be really thinking on film for people to believe you. Otherwise, it's too close. Everything's there. It's got to be in your eyes and your face. TV is a little bit less, but theatre people know if you're not. I do anyway. I know if people are not.
You know what John Hargraves told me, which helped me tremendously. Oh, gosh, I loved him. And he used to say, Lou, think through your eyes on camera. Think through your eyes. And it was the one thing that really helped me improve,
Well, the thing is, if you're thinking, it'll come through your eyes.
Of course.
That's the whole thing.
That's what he meant.
That's what I'm saying. You need to have that story.
Yeah.
And so therefore you might be saying, pass the sugar, but in actual fact, you've just been through a horrible thing, and it just has to show in your face and your eyes. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, if you could go back in time and choose any role you wanted to do, what would that be?
Oh God, Lou, I don't know. I sort of know when they come up. Well, it sort of is, yeah. But when I got hold of that script for 4,000 Miles, Anthony Scoose didn't want to use me. He wanted somebody else, and he's a friend of mine, but he knows what I can do. But he had somebody else in mind, and I talked him into it because I really wanted to do that character. She's terrific. I understood it, and I don't think there's anything that I would like to play until I actually had a look at it. When it's on the page and I think, oh, yes, I could do something with this, I can relate to that, but I can't think of anything in advance I would love to play anymore. I think I'm too old now, anyway.
Oh, you're not too old.
I might have had lots of choices when I was younger, but there's not too many roles as you get older.
Yeah. But you've recently done The End, North Shore, Nugget is Dead, in the last couple of years.
Been busy. I've been busy.
You have. A working actor.
Yeah, The End was fun. That was great fun. I have to tell you about the final scene in that thing where I think we were all dead. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Anyway, they decided,
I guess they
decided to shoot it at dawn on the beach, and they had all these nudists who were coming, and everybody was supposed to be nude except not me. I'm a bit like Simone Signoret, who said, "Je ne pas exposer mon vol." I don't expose my veal.
That's a good one.
But the nudists couldn't wait to get all their gear off, and I'm standing there with, God, who is in it? I'm trying to think what his name is. Jesus, should have prepared for this. I always forget people's names. Anyway, I was standing on the beach. My peripheral vision's really good, and I thought, there's something wrong with that person standing over there. I couldn't work it out. And finally, I sort of looked to the left, and I kept looking at her, and then I realised that she'd had the chop. That's what was wrong. It was all sort of cut off down there and scarred.
Oh.
And she had sort of pink hair and on her head and lots of tattoos and things. But it was very weird. It was just sort of I did that sort of double take with your head, and I thought, okay, just look straight ahead, Diana. Fine. But that was the final scene of The End. But it was great fun. Big cast, really huge. played with Dame Harriet Walter. She was just wonderful. I loved her.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, then the North Shore, yeah, that's on. Actually, I got a message from a friend of mine who's an agent in London with a photo of it, and it's on Saturday night on television in London. He just said, "Is this you?" I said, "Yes, but I can't remember what scenes I was in, but you mustn't miss my first scene because it's very funny." So I don't know whether he'll watch it all or not. Being an agent, you know, they skip through things, as you can imagine. But it's on in London on Saturday night. And what was the other one I did recently? Oh, Nugget is Dead. Well, that's still on and Stan. Yeah, that was fun to do. I'm playing a slightly demented grandma who we all had wonderful eyelashes and big hair and everything. It was all Bougainville. It was Bogan Christmas. It was very funny.
And you enjoyed it.
We had the best time.
Yeah.
We just loved each other. We all got on terribly well.
There's still
And they
photographs.
made the mistake of allowing me to ad-lib a lot, which was a terrible mistake because I just continued to ad-lib, you know, and they had to write my part up a bit more.
You grew the part
When in doubt,
until it was the
ad-lib.
lead.
No, not quite, but lots of quips. No, they're very clever girls, those two girls that read that. Gemma
Good on
and
them.
Vic. Yeah.
Good on
They've got a new show coming on ABC. It's about to come on. Belinda Giblin's in the lead.
Oh, good. She's terrific. She's good too.
She's a fabulous actress. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've always loved her too.
Yeah.
Now, how does working now compare with your earlier days?
Well, they treat me like I'm going to break a lot of the time, which is quite interesting. So that's okay. I don't know. What do you mean? How does it compare?
Well, I mean, I suppose from technical point of view, from...
it's very different, you know, because of the cameras are all tiny little digital things, and the director's not on the set with you anymore. He's in another room, as you probably know. So,
No, I don't, because I haven't worked in the last 20 years.
Oh, right. Well, they don't. They come out and talk to you, but then they disappear into another room, and they watch everything on their TVs and things, you know, their screens.
Like they used to with taping.
Yeah, probably.
Basically the same style. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know those big cameras we had on the floor, the TV cameras, they don't have those anymore.
No, they're minuscule now. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's different. And also, I did find out I did 3 months in Neighbours when I first came back from overseas, and I found it very different to when we were doing Young Doctors. They weren't having as much fun. It was all about the most popular director was the one who finished early. So you didn't have much chance to muck around and fluff lines and then have a joke with people. They weren't in for that. They were very serious. Yeah,
because we all had such a good time on
some
Young
years
Doctors.
ago now.
Yeah,
we did. We had good fun. Yeah.
Oh, it was terrific.
Yeah.
Now, Di, who would you choose as your favourite Aussie entertainer or actor or whatever?
Oh, I think Kate Blanchett's a wonderful actress.
Marvellous. Yep.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah, I think she's fantastic.
Yep.
She's so versatile and so clever.
Yes.
But there's a lot of good actors out there. I mean, Belinda's one. What's her name? Who just did Osage, Orange County. She's South African originally. Pamela Ray.
Pamela Ray.
She's terrific.
Yeah.
What's her name? Who's oh God, you put me on the spot here. Doing the RBJ. Oh God, Heather, isn't it Heather Mitchell?
Oh, Heather Mitchell. Oh my gosh, when she did RBG, I think it is.
RBG,
of many of one.
So, I mean, you know, it's just we've got some fabulous actors. The young ones are just. That's why I like working with young actors. You know, I've done a lot of stuff at the old Fits and places where you don't get paid, but you get a minimal thing. But I've done a lot of 4 plays there. The last one was The Humans, which was hugely successful. But the young actors are just terrific to work with. And I had a wonderful director there, Anthea Williams, who's an award-winning director. She's so, you know, it's good to work with the young ones. It's because they invent, but it's easy. It seems sort of easy for them. They're all very natural now, and it's you know, it's not like the old days when a lot of people were just like, unfortunately, when we did TV, a lot of them weren't really actors. A lot of them postmen and models and things that the people like to put in that weren't really trained. So, but I mean, it's just, it's okay. They get away with it because it's not that hard, TV, really. But no, I don't know. I'm probably waffling on a bit here, but I do think we've got some wonderful actors because we've got the best of both worlds. We've got the naturalistic, style plus the classical of Britain mixed in,
Absolutely.
America and Britain all mixed in together, which is good.
Now, Di, you've done heaps of work. And what do you hope audiences will remember about your contributions to the industry?
Oh, I don't think they'll remember me at all, darling. I don't know.
How humble
Some
and
people might.
beautiful.
I don't know whether they will. I think it's life is brief. People only get remembered if they've been incredibly famous and things. I've never really been terribly famous, just stomping along, vaguely recognised at times.
Oh, gorgeous girl.
So I don't think. Oh, let me put it in the other ear. No, I don't. I don't think. I think I'd just like to be remembered as somebody who was kind. Really, sometimes I'm not. I can be a bit bitchy, but I've got a quick sense of humour. So
you have.
I tend to be a bit naughty, but that way. But I think the whole thing about life is trying to do no harm. Because I studied Tibetan Buddhism for nearly 6 years, so I don't meditate anymore, which occasionally I do, but all the lessons and things you learn on that, very good.
Oh, it's lovely doing it. Yeah, but it's great being able to have time in your life to be able to go into your spiritual self, isn't it?
Well, it's not that so much. I remember one of the lamas saying, 5 minutes on the cushion is better than no minutes on the cushion. So you just live your day-to-day life.
I agree.
And as acceptance is the thing in life, because I had a lot of things happen to me. As you know, my daughter was killed in a car accident when she was 25. And I had some dreadful marriages. Yes. So you just have to learn acceptance. And once you start accepting, otherwise you're like a worm on a hook fighting it. And people who don't accept things make themselves sick. So I think a lot of cancers and things are from people who are still carrying a lot of anger and resentment. And you can't do that in your life. Otherwise you're unhappy.
I think being content is the most important thing in one's life. Yeah, well,
being great
and grateful.
This morning, I mean, how lucky are we to live in Australia? Really, I was listening to an interview of this director. I don't think he was Palestinian or something. I can't remember what he was. It was about a documentary made anyway, or whatever it was. But I thought, and he said, "Oh, I'd love to come to Australia." I said, I'm so lucky to live here, really. I mean, things are not as great as they could be, work-wise at times and everything. Or you're not living where you thought you would be living at this time. But I'm lucky to have somewhere. I have a small apartment. I have my dog, and I have a nice garden, and and I live in a country where we're not at war. No. And it might be expensive, but we have the sea and the sun and some good weather most of the time. And honestly, I think we're very lucky. Yeah,
I do too. I'm very, very grateful. Now, what advice for aspiring actors, based on your experiences in the industry, would you give them?
Well, yeah, I think young actors, I remember doing it myself. You audition for something, then you're hanging around waiting to see if you get it. I always say to them, just forget it. Do it and forget it. Otherwise, you're unhappy all the time. You're nervous. Endurance as an actor is really hard, because you're so often out of work. And even when you work, you don't make much money. People think you make a whole heap of money. You don't.
No.
You might make $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in a week, then you may not work for 6 or 8 months. So it's all that just disappears. It gets eaten up trying to live and pay bills. And that's where the government, the Centrelink thing, don't understand our business at all, because we get punished for earning that money. They take
that was terrible.
Pension away or whatever it is, and then you can't live for that period of time. But it's not fair, because it should be taken over a yearly base.
I remember you going through all of that with Centrelink.
Well, I got caught up in that robo-debt thing,
yes,
which is just ridiculous.
It was
and it cost me a lot of money for accountants and everything else, and then they finally dropped it all. But it's because they don't understand. They don't understand. For instance, as you know, if you get a payment for a voiceover, you get a studio fee, but you don't know how much you've earned sometimes for a long time. Or it used to be like that. Now they sort of give you a pretty good idea. But they didn't know where it was going to go. So you might suddenly, out of the blue, which I did a lot during COVID, I got residual checks for jobs because they weren't recording anymore.
Yeah.
So you would get your money in, and then Centrelink would say, well, when did you do that job? And you say, 3 years ago. And they just didn't understand it. Well, why didn't you report it? I did at the time. This is a different one. Oh, see, so that's how robo-debt happened to people in my situation. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, it was a horrible time for you.
Yeah,
I remember
Yeah,
that.
but I mean, the thing is with young actors, they just have to, you just have to endure, and you have to do other jobs. And you have to, that's why I said to you, that's why the voiceover thing was so good.
Yeah.
I didn't always have to do other jobs, which was good. I had voiceover money coming in, but it's it's a hard profession. You wouldn't encourage any of your children to do it.
No.
Every actor I know lives in horror of their child wanting to become an actor.
Well, I tell you what, waiting skills and market research. I remember doing market research down at Mona Vale with you. Yeah.
That's right. We all did that, remember? Oh, God. That was awful.
And we got right into health back then, remember?
Yeah.
It was always, some new fad, and we'd be doing it.
Absolutely. Well, I'm still a bit of a health fiend.
Me too.
I'm mainly organic, and I don't, I'm lactose intolerant, so I have to be careful what I eat anyway. But I just think people should think about what they're putting in their, you need to look at things in the supermarket, and you can find most of that stuff from Coles and Woolworths. People, my first husband, David, who lives in Melbourne, who I'm still very friendly with, Cassie's father, he buys these ready-made meals, and they're full of preservatives, and you cannot tell him about it. It's just, it's not a good way to live, and it's, it's easy to have fresh food. It's not that hard, and not that expensive, really.
No.
And people should really, I'm on my hobby horse. They should learn to do what they do in India and stuff. Eat more pulses, cook up the lentils and stuff. They're all full of protein. You don't have to have meat all the time, and it's cheap.
No, nor carbs either. Because I've just found out that I'm really quite allergic to yeast, and so.
Oh right, yes. Well, a lot of people are.
Yeah. Now,
So
Di, can I ask you what is in store for you now?
In store?
Yeah.
Nothing at the moment. Nothing. I did an audition for Anaconda the other day. 1 line. I said to my agent, I'm not doing that. He said, oh, yes, you are. I need you to meet. Blah, 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 blah. And so I had a big meeting with the director, the American director, and the thing was, I was supposed to be working with Jack Black. 1 line, but I didn't get it. They laughed a lot, and then made them up. But she was supposed to be in her 90s, and I don't film at all, as you know.
Well, you look so young, my darling. You really look young.
Well, I don't look young, but I'm very lucky that I've got very good skin and very few lines. So
and good bone structure too.
Yeah, I don't come across as in my 90s.
No, you
often.
don't. No, you don't.
Even
as
though
soon as you get
4,000 miles, I was supposed to be in my 90s. I was playing that. I was having my hair bleached so it was white until I went to the hairdresser one day and she said, you're the same colour underneath. I think it's time we stop bleaching it. So I just let all my hair grow out white, which is it's not even grey. It's white, isn't it? So, yeah.
Oh, darling. Now, listen, Di, thanks so much for talking to me today, and it's been wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Thank you, Lou. Yes, and thank you, Ray. It's been lovely. Nice interview. Thank you.
Really, really enjoyed it.
Good. All right.
Okay.
Speak to you soon.
Isn't she a remarkable lady? And with all her sadness, she could teach us all a lesson or two in acceptance. Now, in America, she would have been a major artist with the body of work that she's done, I can assure you. Now, thank you, my lovelies, for listening. That is, if you still are. Until next time, this is Lulu from Set to Sofa. A bientôt, my lovelies.
Thanks for listening with an open heart. But now it's time for us to part. So tell everybody that you know to tune in next week to Lulu's show. From Set to Sofa is where it's at. And Lulu, darling, just loves a chat. She talks to starlets with grace and style. Lulu sure will make you smile.